Hi folks, Backwoods here. Today we're going to make a little video, show you guys how to cook out on the trail. We just walked into this place. Obviously it's a swamp, a river. Got good flowing water here. Wanted to talk a minute about that. We're looking for water to purify. You can see it's decently clear. It is tannic, and most of your rivers and streams in Florida are going to be tannic. In other words, just because it looks brown doesn't mean it's dirty. That's from all the leaves, the roots, all the other organic matter that falls into the water, and it just like it turns it into like iced tea. That does not mean that it's not good to drink. Also, you want to try to find flowing water if you can. Now in a lake, that's going to be a different deal. In a lake, however, you want to try to go with your green or clear lakes. Green water usually means that there is a healthy ecosystem in that lake that has planktonic algae growing in it that produces an entire food chain. Also, look for aquatic, animals. If there's fish living in it and bugs coming off of it, here when I first walked up, there were 2 or 3 little bass here swimming around the edge. There's lots of minnows around the edge. That generally means that it's at least not too polluted for them to survive in there. This is pretty pristine here, even though it is a little tannic. So we're going to go ahead, while we have the opportunity, we're going to go ahead and take some of this water and filter it. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get out our water filter. Here we're going to be using the Sawyer water filter. Got that packaged up in our pack here. A Ziploc bag. Ziploc bag is also going to double as an extra water container for us. We'll keep that and we'll keep it clean. Here with this system, there's just a couple of parts. There's the backflow, that's for cleaning the filter. This is the filter itself, and then we have our water pouch. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. You can also this also fits 2-liter bottles. So find some of those laying around. It works pretty great. So I'm just going to go here. There doesn't seem to be a lot of debris in this water. If there was, I would probably use some pantyhose, which we also have. I'm trying not to disturb the mud on the bottom. Get out here where it's a little clean. We'll just start filling that up. The other thing I didn't mention was, here in Florida, we have a lot of brackish water. Even though it may look fresh, it could possibly contain salt, especially off the St. Johns River or anywhere northern Florida, around the coast. We're here close to Tampa Bay. This river does flow into Tampa Bay. However, I do know there is a water control feature south of here that prevents the salt water from coming back up this far. So we're just going to go ahead and fill this guy up. Alright, we've got our pouch filled up here. So now, and I put the cap back on it. I did find out one thing using this the first time. You actually had to move it along the water to get the pouch to expand. So I just kind of pulled it across the top of the water. It filled right up. But just kind of dunking it didn't really work because the pouch was squeezed tight, closed from being rolled up. So if you have that problem, just move it through the water and that will help open it up. So now we'll just take the lid off of it and then I'm going to screw the water filter onto its place. Now it has a little protective cap here on the end, and we'll go ahead and we'll filter and look at it. I want to show you what the water looks like straight up out of the river first. Alright, well here's the water straight up out of the river. It's not too bad, it's pretty clear. Even though the river looks kind of dark, it's not that bad. But once we filter that, it should look much better. A fresh, clean Ziploc bag. I go ahead and you don't want to put filtered water into anything you've ever had unfiltered water in. You can actually drink this straight out of the bag. It pretty much works by gravity, but you can squeeze it to get it has one of those drinking tips like a sports bottle. But in this case we want to save it, so we're just going to go ahead and you can just let it drain. The thing I wish they had it done was put some kind of an eyelet on this bag so you could hang it. But you can actually compress the bag, and it speeds up the process a little bit. Okay, we're going to take another look at it. Much clearer. Let's get a closer shot of that. There's still a tiny bit of color to it, but any particulates that are in there are now gone, and that'll be safe to drink. So some of you are probably asking, well, I didn't see you drink any of that, but I'm going to go ahead. I actually tried some. It's great. Especially on a hot day like today. It tastes like bottled water. Real quick, I wanted to show you a hazard out here in the wilderness, especially in wet and swampy areas. This is poison ivy, boys and girls. Okay, leaves of 3, let it be. This can put you out of action. So we want to get a fire going. It's really wet down here. We're right next to the river. So we want to try to find some stuff that's, kind of high and dry. Here's a piece of cypress right there. You can tell by the way it breaks there. It's really dry. I'm going to go ahead and gather that guy up. And some of this other stuff that's not laying directly on the ground. We got stuff that's laying up in these limbs. We're going to just kind of gather up some of that. We need little stuff, big stuff. We'll get us a little pile going over here. Here's some great tinder right there. Let's get all that little bitty stuff. Gonna need that to get our fire going. So we'll carry this back over here. Yeah, this stuff that's laying right here in the mud just not going to work. We're going to find a kind of a dry spot. Start prepping that. We're going to go find us some start material. I see a palm tree over here, so let's go check that out. On the way over to the palm tree, I noticed very fresh signs of wild hog here. So there is food around. So, and we actually seen them on the way in here. So this would be a good place to have a base camp. You got unlimited supply of water. And you got game in the area. So let's go back to the palm tree now. We're going to keep our eye peeled for that guy. Alright, like I showed you guys in a previous video, all this stuff up in here is dry. We want to get in there and get that fiber. That fiber that's in between. It's right there. See it coming out. Okay. This stays dry even when it rains. That'll catch our spark from our carbon match. Enough to get some even damp wood going. We're going to get a pretty good fistful of it. Okay, the other thing is the ground is soaking wet, so we're going to go ahead and just get us Get us a palm frond here. That'll give us something to put our fire down on. We split it up a little more. Got a little more coarser, drier stuff on top of it there. We'll see if we can get that to go. Boom. The thing is if we can keep it going long enough to actually start catching some of this wood. I hear the wood boiling now, so if we can keep that going long enough. Keep some air in it. It's looking pretty successful. We'll start building on it. We don't need a huge fire. Okay, here we just got our canteen cup up next to the fire. You notice there's almost no smoke. Look up. No smoke, no sign of smoke. I'm gonna go ahead and take advantage of this getting rolling pretty good. Got my good old top ramen. Go ahead and start putting them in there. You don't really need hot water for these. They're a great source of complex carbs. Keep you going out here. And there's really no excuse for not buying them at 29 cents. They weigh practically nothing. Put them in your camp pack. Flavor packet is also very high in sodium. Help your water retention. You're gonna be sweating a lot out here in the summertime. Just gonna keep the fire going here. Notice it's already burnt through the palm leaf, but by the time it burnt through the palm leaf, the ground underneath was already dry. We're just gonna kind of keep nestling the fire up around the canteen cup. It has some curved sticks there, so that makes it pretty easy. This one is not snapping as well, so it means it's a little wetter. But we do have coals going under there, so we'll just keep nestling them up toward the canteen cup. These little burn-ins, they catch really Wait for the roast to dry already. Well, this is Backwoods out here in the wilderness, eating ramen noodles. Pretty good. These have been stored up for quite a while. A little stale. But all in all, not bad. Came out, did it on a little improvised fire. Started it without matches or anything. Hope you learned a little bit. We'll be back for more videos on some other gear you can bring that will make this whole process a lot easier, and we can do a little bit more elaborate meals than just ramen noodles. Once again, not bad for in the middle of nowhere. It's Backwoods, and I'll see you next time.